Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now these days, I'm posting almost every day, so I hope you guys are still happy with seeing my face talking about all the brand new smartphones that are available here in Malaysia. Now today's video is actually quite special because this is actually a review of the phone that I'm actually using, and I do plan to keep this device as well. So the device that I'm talking about here is actually the Samsung S22 Plus. Now I actually did the S22 Ultra, the small guy S22, and today is all about the S22 Plus. Now there are a couple of reasons why I decided to keep this device and not the other two, and I'm going to share with you my experience in today's video. Now before I begin, it's worth mentioning that I'll be covering a few more phones because there are so many upcoming devices over the next few days. So if you want to find out all about the latest devices, especially here in Malaysia, don't forget to drop a like, sub to the channel to see more content like this. Having said that, let us begin and let me share with you my experience with the Samsung S22 Plus. Now first up, let's talk a little bit about the price. I got my S22 Plus here at a very attractive price here in Malaysia. I'm not sure about other countries, but in Malaysia, Samsung is always giving us crazy promos. For instance, like this device is launched at RM4100 and you get the 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal memory, but Samsung is throwing in a free Galaxy Watch that is worth like 900 ringgit. So it actually reduces the price if you are able to sell off that watch. So very happy with the price. Nothing more that I can comment there. So let's move on to the next point and talk a little bit about the design. Now in terms of the design, I also mentioned previously with the Galaxy S22 device that it actually looks very similar to previous Samsung devices. It comes with the Samsung's corporate image, which I think is starting to grow on me. We do have a very nice build quality, obviously, since this is a Samsung's flagship device. The back panel here is very smooth to the touch. It is awesome. Occasionally, it does pick up a little bit of fingerprints at the back, but I still like it very much. Now, just like the S22, the smaller guy, the edge of the camera bump here is actually quite sharp as well. So whenever you hold the device, it does jag into you a little bit, but after using it for quite some time now, I've kind of got used to it. So not really going to complain about that. Overall, I think it's a very clean design. Again, this is the green version, and I was still thinking whether the black looks better, but you tell me, is the black or the green better? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Now, apart from that, it's also worth mentioning that we have our Type-C port at the bottom. We have stereo speakers. We do not have the headphone jack. And in terms of the SIM card tray, this is a strictly dual SIM card. That means that it does not support expandable storage. You cannot put any micro SD inside. Overall, awesome build quality and great design here on the S22 Plus. It feels perfect in my hand. Although, just again for reference sake, this is the S22 and this is the S22 Plus. It feels great in my hands. No issues there whatsoever. Alright, so now done with the design and all that, let me talk a little bit about the next thing that I love, and of course, that is that awesome display at the front. Now, first up, in terms of the numbers itself, we do get a 6.6-inch 1080p dynamic AMOLED display that is superb on the S22 Plus. What I mean by that is that colors, the contrast levels, sharpness, everything is just amazing. Now, I did wish that it came with a 2K display because it would, just be so much sharper and all that. But I guess 1080p also helps to reduce the battery consumption when you are using the device itself. Now, apart from that, it also supports HDR10+. It comes with a 120Hz refresh rate. That means everything is buttery smooth. In terms of the touch sampling rate, it is still a standard 240Hz, which honestly speaking, after using it for more than a week now, I find that there is no lag in terms of your touch inputs. It is perfectly fine. Overall, if you love watching videos, you will definitely love the display on the S22 Plus. It is much bigger and definitely, in my opinion, a little bit better than the smaller guy here because you're just able to see content a little bit more. Now, one thing that I am very happy to point out here, the part that I love the most is actually in terms of the symmetrical bezels that we have on the front. If you take a look closely, you'll notice that all around the bezels are actually very symmetrical. It is not like you have a bigger head or a bigger chin. Everything is symmetrical and it looks amazing, guys. It just looks awesome. This is the best front-facing look that I've seen so far on any Android device. Oh, another thing that I should also point out is that we have a flat display at the front, so you do not have any accidental touches whatsoever. Again, if I have to choose the best display that on any Android device today, I will have to go with something like the one on the S22 Plus. Alright, now done with the awesome display, let's talk a little bit more about the cameras that we have at the back. Now, similar to the S22, the small guy, we have a triple camera setup over here, and this device here is actually missing the 108 megapixel from the Ultra, but it still has a very awesome 50 megapixel main sensor. Apart from that, you also have a very high resolution 12 megapixel ultra wide. I mentioned high resolution is because most ultra wides out there today are 8 megapixels, but this one takes some pretty solid shots. And last but not least, you also have a 10 megapixel telephoto lens that does 3 times optical zoom, and it comes with OIS built in. Now, similar to the S22 that I reviewed like 2 days ago, the camera performance is actually very similar, obviously again because they have the same sensors at the back. In terms of daytime shots, they look awesome, they look great. We have a lot of detail, very good colors. It looks quite natural actually. The device actually tends to saturate it a little bit more, but it's not to the point where it's super extreme and all that. Overall, I'm going to show you guys a couple of pictures here so you can see what to expect on the S22 Plus, but I'm very happy to say that daytime shots are excellent. Now, moving on to the ultra-wide shots, I also want to point out that yes, with the 12 megapixel ultra-wide, you are getting very solid shots here as well. Again, there is no like fringing on the sides of the image and all that. It just looks like a great ultra-wide shot that, you can definitely, share it to your friends and it will look awesome. Now, last but not least, in terms of the night mode as well, it is doing quite well. It is able to bright up a very dark environment, and it does take a lot of photos without much noise. So at the end of the day, again, with the Samsung S22 Plus over here, you know that you are getting flagship grade cameras, even though this is not the Ultra version. Last but not least, it's also worth mentioning that the video capabilities is also quite good. We are able to do 8K at 24 FPS, but if you want to do the more conventional 4K, you can do that at 60 FPS. The stabilization is also excellent here. Yes, we do get OIS for the main sensor as well, which is capturing the video that you're seeing right now. And overall, yes, I'm just very happy with the kind of cameras that you get on the back of the S22 Plus. Now, moving on, let's talk a little bit about the processing power, because we do have a very interesting processor here. What we have this year is actually the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. You do have 8GB of RAM and storage options of 128GB or 256GB. Now, I did wish that they give us an option of 12GB of RAM and 512GB of internal memory, but apparently that is only something that you can get on the Ultra models. Yes, 8GB of RAM is definitely sufficient, but sometimes, you just want to make sure you are future-proof, so that's that. But in terms of real-world use, how does it feel like to use the S22 Plus? Well, honestly speaking, it has been a very smooth and great experience using the Samsung S22 Plus. Naturally, having one of the most powerful processors in the smartphone today, you are able to carry out day-to-day tasks very smoothly without any lags or stutters. That is great. Apart from that, if you do play a little bit of gaming, yes, I'm sure all of you know about the throttling issue, but I did notice that when I was playing Mobile Legends, I had a little bit of stutters on the S22, but when I was playing on the S22 Plus, I did not get that much of an issue. It was still very smooth, so I'm not sure what is happening with the GOS on the back end, but nevertheless, Samsung says that they'll be doing something to fix the GOS, the game optimization system, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you can expect to, get over the throttling issues after a couple more updates. One thing I do have to point out is that I did do a very quick benchmark test and I compared it to the Xiaomi 12 Pro, which also has the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and I noticed that the Xiaomi 12 Pro got quite a significantly more result than the S22 Plus over here. So again, that's just in terms of benchmark scores, but day-to-day use, it is alright. Now, moving on to the final point here, let's talk a little bit about the battery that we have in the back. Now, I did mention in my S22 video that I was thinking whether I should keep the small guy or the Plus. Well, at the end of the day, I think I will be going with my Plus, and that is also due to the battery life. In here, we do have a 4500 mAh battery. It is not large by any means because these days we are used to seeing 5000 mAh. But the good thing here is that compared to the S22's 25 watt fast charge, we are having a much better 45 watt fast charge on the S22 Plus. So definitely appreciate that. It is not super fast or anything like that, but at least it is much faster than the one on the compact version. So yes, you do get a better battery as well as faster charging speeds. Alright guys, so at the end of the day, my personal experience with the S22 Plus has been really positive. There are a lot of things that I love about this device, not to mention the awesome display, the good processor, great cameras, awesome battery and charging speeds. But yes, if you ask me if there are a couple of things that I wish was improved, well, the first thing I would say is maybe have matte matte flat sides all around the frame. Second was to be the extra RAM, the 12GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. And last but not least, perhaps a periscope lens with a 10 times optical zoom that we have on the S22 Ultra. But overall, again, for the price that I'm able to get this device, or even the retail price, if you sell off the watch, you are getting this device at a very affordable price point. I would say it's quite reasonable on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Again, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and sub to the channel. There is a ton of new devices coming out. My room is literally filled with lots of phones. Don't forget to sub to the channel. I definitely hope to see all of you guys in the next one. Please stay safe, everybody. Bye!